welcome to this guide on preparing you for the U.S. Fiancé Visa interview. My name is Michael, and today I'll walk you through some key questions and tips to help you confidently navigate through the K-1 visa interview process. This visa is a significant step towards starting a new life together in the United States, and preparation is key to succeed. So, let's get started. The K-1 visa allows a foreign fiancé of a U.S. citizen to travel to the United States to get married within 90 days of the arrival. The consular officer will assess your authenticity of your relationship, your intent to marry, and your eligibility for the visa. This means you'll need to provide details and honest answers, supported by evidence. Let's go over some common questions and how you may answer these questions in the interview. First, the officer might ask you a question such as, how do you and your fiancé meet? This is to test the legitimacy of your relationship. There are, on occasion, relationships that might be just to get a visa. They want to make sure that your relationship is real, that your relationship is genuine, that you do plan to marry this person and spend your life with them. So here's the question. How did you and your fiancé meet? So here's an example answer. We met through a mutual friend in 2012. Since then, we have stayed in regular contact through various methods, video calls, texts, visits whenever we can, and our relationship has grown stronger and stronger over time. Here's another question. When and where did you get engaged? So be clear and specific in this answer. If they ask you this question, when and where did you get engaged? We got engaged on March 11th, 2013 in Sydney, Australia. It was a very special moment for both of us. We have photos and messages to remember the occasion. It's important to bring photos, have messages, have backup. Sometimes they want to see proof. They want to see proof that you're a real couple. Photos are a great way to prove that. Messages back and forth, great way to prove that. So here's the example response one more time. When and where did you get engaged? We got engaged on March 11th, 2013 in Sydney, Australia. It was a special moment for both of us. We had plenty of pictures and messages to remember the moment. Another question might be, how often do you and your fiancé communicate? So this question checks the consistency of your relationship. Here's an example response. We communicate daily through phone calls and video chats. We also visit each other whenever possible. Here are the records of our conversations and photos from our visit together. Okay, so here you might want to just mention that you do have records, photos of every time you visit. So they just want to make sure, again, that this relationship is genuine. You're about to get married. We would assume that you must communicate relatively frequently. It might not necessarily be daily. There could be other methods as well, texts, emails, but give the method that you usually use. Phone calls and video chats make a lot of sense as opposed to an email or just a text message, but sometimes that might be your only option. So here's the example response one more time. We communicate daily through phone calls and video chats. We also visit each other whenever possible. I have the records of our conversations and photos of our visits if needed. The next question could be related to your fiancé's family. Have you met your fiancé's family? Highlight the efforts to build a relationship with their family. I'm sure we've heard that if you marry somebody, you don't just marry them, you marry their family. So this is a question that could come up in the interview. Have you met your fiancé's family? Here's an example response. Yes, I have met my fiancé's family during a visit to Sydney in December 2012. They were very welcoming, and we spent a lot of time together doing various activities, having delicious meals, and celebrating certain events. Or, on the other hand, you might not have met your fiancé's family. Your answer here would be, unfortunately, I haven't met their family in person yet, but we've spoken over video calls and on the phone, and they're aware of our plans to get married. So either way, you've met them in person, or if you haven't met them in person, you can still mention, I've spoken to them on the phone, I've spoken to them through video calls. They're aware of our plans to get married. Another question might be, what do you know about your fiance's daily life? Again, this is to check the legitimacy of your relationship. We would imagine that if you're about to marry this person, you must know a thing or two about their daily life. Your response could sound like this. I know my fiance works as an administrator for XYZ Corporation and enjoys surfing and lots of outdoor activities. They usually start their day with a morning workout, they go to work, and we often talk in the evenings after work. So just a few things about where they work, some of their hobbies, their interests, how they start their day, what they do throughout their day, and mention, yes, well, we usually catch up once a day in the evening. We might be in different time zones, so that could be their evening, could be my morning, but they'll get the point. I know what they do. I know what they do for work. I know what their hobbies are. I know their morning routine. And we speak to each other every day at this time to keep up, to keep in touch. All right, so this is a fiance visa. They're expecting that you will get married within 90 days of entering the country. They might ask you something like this. What are your wedding plans? So remember, provide details about your intent to marry within the 90 days of arrival and give details about your plans for the wedding or for the ceremony. So here's an example response. We plan to get married on August 8th in California. We've already started organizing the ceremony and have a list of attendees and family and close friends that will be coming to the wedding. I have details for our plans if you'd like them. Again, bring these details because if we're planning a wedding, we probably already have a venue. We might have a church if we're getting married in a church. We have a guest list. Bring those details with you in case the officer would like to see them. So again, here's an example response. We plan to get married on August 8th in California. We've already started organizing, and we have a list of attendees, including family and close friends. I have all the details if you'd like to see them, because it's important to have the details ready, have a date, August 8th in this example, have a location. I gave California as an example. It might help you have a bit more of a specific location or the venue. The more details, the better. But yeah, have that date, have the venue, your plans to get married, your wedding plans. Another question might be about your living arrangements. In this case, your living arrangements after getting married. Where will you live after getting married? So let's take a look at an example response. The officer asks you, where will you live after getting married? We plan to live together in San Francisco, California. Give a specific address if possible. If you already know the address, have that with you, have that ready. So we plan to live together in San Francisco, California at this address. My fiance has already arranged housing, and we're excited to begin our life together in the US. So it's important to mention where, the city, the state, the address, if you have it. It's a good thing if you do. And throw in an additional comment. My fiance has already arranged housing. We're very excited to begin our life together in the USA. Okay, now you're entering the United States to get married in the United States. It's possible your fiance could have come to your country to get married in your country. So the officer might inquire about that as well. The officer might ask you, why did you decide to get married in the US instead of your home country? So explain your reasons honestly. Here's an example. We decided to get married in the US because it's where my fiance lives and works, and makes most of the sense because we're starting our life together. We also want to be close to their family and their friends. So again, they want to know, why did you choose the United States over your country? Explain your reasons with honesty. Here's the example response. We decided to marry in the US because it's where my fiance lives and works, and it makes more sense to start our lives together here. We also want to be close to their family and their friends. Another question. Have you ever been denied a US visa before? If the answer is yes, this can be a little bit of a sensitive question, but remember, you got to answer honestly and explain the circumstances if the answer is yes. So let's take a look at both sides of this. The officer asks you, have you ever been denied a U.S. visa before? Yes, I was denied a visa in 2011 due to lack of ties to my home country. However, my circumstances have changed since then, and I provided all the necessary information for my fiancé visa application. Or, if the answer is no, I've never been denied a U.S. visa. And finally, we've mentioned this before, but the officer wants to know that your relationship is real. Your relationship is legitimate. You are marrying that person because you love them and want to start a life together. So they might ask you, can you provide proof of your relationship? As we've mentioned in previous examples, a lot of times you have photos, you have messages back and forth, you have other things that you can use to prove that you two love each other, that you two are in a real relationship with one another. So there it is. The officer asks you, can you provide proof of your relationship? Bring supporting documents to back up your answer. Here's an example response. Yes, I brought photos of us, copies of our conversations, flight tickets for our visits, letters that we've exchanged back and forth, and all the other proof from family and friends that might help prove the authenticity of our relationship. So remember, preparing for your K-1 interview is all about being honest and organized. Bring all the required documents, dress professionally, and maintain a positive attitude. Remember, the consular officer wants to ensure that the relationship is genuine and your intentions are sincere. If you need any additional guidance or like more personalized support, feel free to reach out to us at US Law Group, LLC. We're here to help you every step of the way. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck in your interview.